abuse. Um, the last episode, the topics were how we dealt with the discard and the new supply. My sister kind of went off on her own thing, which was perfect because even if I say something is a topic or this is something that I want to discuss, and I'm talking to somebody else and they have something that they want to get off of their chest or off their heart, it's the open floor, it's the open forum. Do what you need to do. That's one of the purposes of this channel. But I do want to double back and talk about my new supply because I cannot back or come behind anything that my sister said. Um, and excuse me if you hear like my voice trembling or something in that nature because it's still fresh. This just recently happened. Um, and I'm still in my healing stages. So I cannot say that I knew the new supply. I can say I knew of her. And the reason I knew of her was because the narc Al Bundy introduced me to Peggy Bundy via the telephone. Like they went to high school together. Okay, real quick. The reason I'm saying Al and Peggy Bundy is because when he and I were together, I called him Al Bundy all the time because he went to Dunbar. And if you're old enough, and I might be aging myself, but on Married with Children, the only thing that Al Bundy like really got excited over or his prime of his life was when he played football at Polk High, and that's how I felt. My Al Bundy felt about Dunbar. So they went to high school together in the same graduating class, so that's why they're deemed Al and Peggy Bundy to me. But anyways, so he introduced us through the phone. He was here one day and his phone rang and he picked it up and oh, okay, let me introduce these two. Basically, he was trying to prove to me that he wasn't being a slut anymore. So um it was cool. It was just like, okay. And she was like, hey sis, nice to talk to you, et cetera, et cetera. So at that point in time when she said that, it was like, oh, so when she got off the phone, I was like, so you talked about me to her before? Yeah, she know I'm in love with you. She know how much you've done for me. She knows so much. She know almost everything about you. And I'm like, okay, but to me, it wasn't a big deal. Let's fast forward through the summer or whatever. If he was on the phone with her and I was around, he would pass me the phone. He put us in a group chat every time she was hey sis, and she would end that phone call with, well, y'all enjoy y'all family time. So she knew that we weren't in a relationship, but she knew it was a situation over here. And whew, I'm sorry. So um like end of October, early November, I had asked him about her. I was like, what is going on between y'all two, et cetera, et cetera. And he's like, oh, it's nothing. And I was like, well, open your phone. Like, you're not hiding nothing, open your phone. So he opens his phone and I see her sending him, well, first of all, I seen a text message of him calling her his last name. And I was like, whoa, that was, red flag, okay? So then I also seen that she was sending him pictures of her in bathing suits. And I also seen it was really no other conversations besides sexual conversations. Like that's what they text back and forth all the time. Sexual memes, all this other stuff. And I just found it like crazy. Like what the heck is this? So of course I say something like y'all just friends. Like I have male friends. I'm not sitting there talking to them about sex or my sexual parts or, my juices and, just no, I'm not, that's not what friends do. So what's going on here? And he went off. Oh my God. I would not lose you and Vera, that's my daughter's name, over her. She's not worth losing y'all over. I told y'all, I promised y'all I wouldn't do nothing to hurt y'all anymore. Like it was the whole speech. And even though it didn't sit right, I was just like, "You right. You right. All right, let's just go to sleep. My bad. I'm tripping. I'm tripping. I'm tripping." So a few weeks later is my birthday, and he chose to tell me my birthday weekend that, "Oh well, yeah, I'm thinking about, you know, um, getting to know her better." Sir, you've been talking to this woman all year from what you said. What do you mean get to know her better? Screw her? Like that's what you're talking about? But anyways, that's neither here nor there. But so I tried to not ruin my entire birthday. So I talked to him the day after my birthday. And I was like, "That's not right. This girl is calling me sis. This girl she knows that we're a unit, not traditional. It's not a traditional family unit, but she knows like this girl didn't talk to me on the phone. Like, I was going to get this girl to do my makeup at one point, and everything in my soul told me not to, and that's why I didn't. Um, yeah, it was a mess. So of course he says the same thing. "You're right, Ella. That would be a betrayal. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna lose you and Vera over her. She's not worth it. You're right. I'm a better person. I'm changing. It's not worth it. It's not worth it." Oh, okay. I leave it there. I go to work, mind my business. He comes over that following weekend. That Sunday he leaves and in the afternoon. And I'm like, "Well, what are you doing the rest of the day?" And he's like, "Oh, nothing. I'm just chilling." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool. Well, enjoy your day." And I go on, I do my Sunday thing. Was why am I why would I think he was lying? Why would I think he was lying? I just didn't. It was just like, "Oh, okay." The next morning we used to talk every morning when I was on my way to work. So I called him and we're talking about the Ravens game. And I was like, "Well, I went to sleep," and you telling me how great the game was. And I was like, "Oh, you stayed up?" And I was shocked because he drives trucks for a living. He gets up 2, 3 in the morning to go to work. So this is an 8 o'clock game. So I'm like, "Oh, you stayed up?" And he said it with his whole chest. "Oh, I was there." And I was like, "What? What do you mean you was there? Who you go to the game with?" "Oh, my cousin called." No, I'm sorry, I'm lying. I was like, "Didn't I ask you what you was doing yesterday before you left?" And he was like, "Oh, my cousin called and asked me if I wanted to buy her tickets." I know how this is not the first time he got tickets from his cousin. His cousin gives you time to be able to pay for the tickets. So she wouldn't call nobody the same day. Like, and it was confirmed when I talked to Peggy Bundy that this was a planned date. Um, I'll get to that part in a second. And I'm like, "Well, who'd you go with?" He was like, "Me, Peggy, and another person, another quote unquote cousin." And I was like, "Oh, so after we had this conversation, you still want to try to do this with Peggy?" It wasn't like that. It wasn't like that. "Oh, okay. You know what I'm going to do? Since you're not telling me the truth, I'm going to call her." I did not call this woman on any, let's see, on any BS. Like, I wasn't aggressive. I wasn't angry. I was angry at him, but I wasn't angry at her. And I was like, "Hey, I just want to know what is going on between you and Al. I just need the truth because he's not telling me the truth." And long and short of that conversation was, she was like, "Oh, he expressed to me last week that he wanted to get to know me better." That last week when he told me that he wasn't going to betray me and my daughter over her, she wasn't worth it. Yeah, fun. So I hope this records good because I don't think I'm gonna be able to tell this story again. So I was like, "Oh, okay, well, we had this conversation and he told me that he wasn't gonna try to pursue anything with you. Because we do know of each other and blah blah blah." She was like, Um, what did she? I might be out of order, but she hit me with that typical female um BS of, well, I can get any man I want. And a side note for this, if you can get any man you want, why are you going to deal with a man that you know is already in the situation? That says a lot about your character as a woman. But that's neither here nor there. And then she goes on and she says, well, I went through this with my ex, with my baby father, and I would not, I knew the person my baby father left me for. So I would not do that to another person. That is not me. Um, I almost said his name. L is not in alignment with where I'm trying to take my life. I would not deal with him like that. I have plans for myself, et cetera, et cetera. And that's when I mentioned, like, well, he said, I said, look, I only want the truth because he's not telling me the truth. So that's why I'm coming to you. And I was like, he said that, the game, y'all going to the game wasn't planned and his cousin just hit him yesterday. And she was like, that's not true. That's not true. And I was like, okay, like, but I already knew because this is not a man I just met 2 days ago. So, whew. So after her saying that, he's not in alignment, she wouldn't deal with him like that. She know that oh, I'm sorry. And she also said that she knew that me, him, and my daughter were a family, and she wouldn't come in between that. She's a mom, and she's about empowering the next woman and all of this other crap. And I was like, okay, yeah, all right. So once I was like, oh yeah, by the way, he said you paid for your own ticket. Is that true? She was like, I gotta take my daughter to school. Girl, when do you get off? I said 4:30, and she was like, I'm gonna call you this evening and we're gonna finish this discussion. Never got a phone call. Never got a phone call. But I did talk to him and he was like, you ain't gotta worry about that with her. She called me and she told me she don't have time um for messiness and all this other stuff. Child, this was a Monday. From what he said, either that same week or that next week, they was laid up in the hotel room. So that's why a lot of anger came behind mine because I felt betrayed by both parties. Because one, as a woman, if I tell another woman, first of all, I'm not going to deal with a man that I know is in a situation. I'm not going to deal with anybody that is in something. Like, he would have to be free and clear, especially when it's a child involved. And even though my daughter is not his biological daughter, he basically raised her. Um, and she knew all of this. He basically told her everything about me. And for any woman to know something like that and still do what she did, I have no respect for her. Like, at all. I will never have any respect for her. And I know she wouldn't care. She don't care. But my thing is this: I'm big on energy. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm spiritual. Like, I'm big on energy. I'm pretty sure that's why my gut was telling me not to get my makeup done by this woman. And she walks around and she does hair and makeup and all this other stuff for a living. That's why you have to watch who you let touch you because I wouldn't want somebody with that type of energy, with that type of vibe on them to touch me. I would not want them in my energy. I would not want them around me because that energy can seep on me. God, I don't need that in my life. Um, but that is the first part of my thing with Elle and Peggy Bundy. Hopefully, like I said, this recorded well, and I don't have to do it again, and I can upload this, and y'all can hear my story. But again, If you want to share your story, you can remain anonymous. You can make up names. You know, you can tell your story. If you don't even want a topic, you just want somebody that's going to listen. You want to get it out because we shouldn't be silenced anymore. Like I'm done being silenced. I'm healing in silence while the people who left destruction are out here looking like the perfect couple or the perfect man or the perfect woman or whatever. No, like these people, no, they I'm not saying their reputation should be destroyed, but what I am saying is that if this is who you are as a person, why not be loud about it? Why do you, this is what I said to Al. I said, why do you always want to be the good guy? Why does that matter to you so much? If you don't care how you hurt people, why do you care how people perceive you? Whew, child, narc. Okay. So anyway, the email is in the description below if you want to reach out to me to get on here and tell your story. You should not just be a person leaving a comment. Come on and tell your story. Get it off your chest so you can start your healing process. Um, I'm supposed to say something inspirational at the end, and the only thing I'm going to say is you're worth it and you deserve everything great that can come into your life. Nobody deserves to be abused. Nobody deserves to be taken advantage of. Nobody deserves to be treated less than. So, unless you're a narc. So, with that, I hope everybody has a great day, and I will talk to you soon.